If you should take productivity advice from anyone, Warren Buffett would be a good man to listen to. He's considered one of the most successful investors of all time and is consistently ranked one of the wealthiest humans alive with a cool $87 billion. So here are 5 productivity lessons from Warren Buffett that will surely make you insanely rich if you follow them properly. If you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe to us and also press the bell icon to get early notifications. Downtown Success is dedicated towards giving out life-changing ideas that will make your journey towards success short and easy. 1. The two-list strategy. The two-list strategy is all about maximizing your focus and mastering your priorities by eliminating things that are less important. Warren Buffett shared this strategy with Mike Flint, who was his personal airplane pilot for 10 years. According to Flint, he was talking about his career priorities with Buffett when his boss asked the pilot to go through a 3-step exercise. Here's how it works. Step 1. Buffett started by asking Flint to write down his top 25 career goals. So Flint took some time and wrote them down. You too can list your 25 goals or the things you want to accomplish in the next 5 years or in your lifetime or in a shorter timeline like next month or next week. Ask yourself these 3 separate questions. Who do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to have? Step 2. Then Buffett asked Flint to review his list and circle his top 5 goals. Again, Flint took some time, made his way through the list, and eventually decided on his 5 most important goals. Once you've completed your list, review the 25 items you just listed and circle the top 5 that matter the most to you. If you're following this right now, then pause here and do these first 2 steps before moving on to step 3. Step 3. At this point, Flint had 2 lists. The 5 items he had circled were list A, and the 20 items he had not circled were list B. Flint confirmed that he would start working on his top 5 goals right away, and that's when Buffett asked him about the second list. And what about the ones you didn't circle? Flint replied, well, the top 5 are my primary focus, but the other 20 come in a close second. They're important still, so I'll work on those intermittently as I see fit. They're not as urgent, but I still plan to give them a dedicated effort. To which Buffett replied, no, you've got it wrong, Mike. Everything you didn't circle just became your avoid at all costs list. No matter what, these things get no attention from you until you've succeeded with your top 5. Just like Flint, you'll have your list A with 5 items you have circled and list B with 20 items you've not circled. Keep both lists. The top 5 as your primary priorities and the other 20 as your avoid at all costs list. Spend all your time and energy on the top 5 and avoid giving any attention to the remaining 20. The problem is, many of us are trying to do more. Doing more usually isn't the solution. We need to remove things and decisions that don't contribute to our top goals and focus 80% of our energy on the 20% of things that produce the most outcome. Instead of having multiple half-done projects, we need to focus on completing a small number of them. However, it's easier said than done. You may have difficulty coming up with 25 goals. Try to get around 10 top goals for the next few years and then make up a few low-key goals to fill in the list. However, when it comes to selecting the top 5 and eliminating the remaining 20, it becomes even more challenging. The top 6 and 7 are usually important to us, but when compared to the top 5, they're secondary. It's easy to give in and spend time and energy on them. Eventually, they become the distractions to our top 5 goals. In order to be productive, we need to eliminate ruthlessly and force ourselves to focus on what's important. 2. Minimize time spent on commuting. Warren Buffett once said, the poor invest their time while the rich invest their money. The majority of the time invested is the time most of us take to commute to our workplace. According to the US Census Bureau, the time taken by the average American to commute to work is 25.9 minutes one way. Over a week of traveling to and from work, that adds up to about 250 minutes a week in transit, which is a little more than 4 hours. In that time, Warren Buffett makes about $6,250,150. And Mark Zuckerberg makes about $5,250,034. Warren Buffett spends just 5 minutes in commuting each way. The time difference between the 40 to 60 minutes per day of the average compared to 10 minutes per day for Buffett adds up to 50 minutes per day, which in turn adds up to 9 days per year. In 42 years, the difference will add up to almost exactly a year. Hence, try talking to your boss and try convincing him that you'll be more productive if you don't go to the office every day. Work from home or find a coffee shop within 5 minutes drive. It's amazing how much more you can compound knowledge by 50 minutes more every day. However, if your boss demands you to be present, Then make the most of your commute time by 1. Using it to prepare for work. To help gear your mindset towards work, set aside 5 minutes during your commute to plan out what you'll do that day. Things like goals, to-do lists, and big picture ideas for your career. 2. Exercise control where you can. Commuters who maintain small routines on the way to work, such as checking the news on the train, tend to feel more excited about the day ahead, more satisfied with their jobs, and are more productive than those who have no set routine. 3. Be social. Talking to others, whether it's carpooling or even chatting with strangers on the train, can be beneficial. Experiencing social connections makes your commute more engaging, which can improve your mood and hence productivity. 3. Say no to meaningless things. Warren Buffett once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." Buffett learned a long time ago that the greatest commodity of all is time. He simply mastered the art and practice of setting boundaries for himself. In order to be productive, we need to simplify our lives. It means saying no over and over again to the unimportant things flying in our direction every day and remaining focused on saying yes to the few productive things that truly matter. Here are 7 things the most successful people say no to on a regular basis, and you should too. 1. They say no to opportunities and things that don't excite them, stick to their values, or further their mission in life. 2. They say no to superficial networking events in which people swap business cards and never hear from one another. Why? Because successful people don't network, they build relationships. 3. They say no to spending time with uninspiring, critical, or negative people who drag them down. Time is precious. Choose a small circle of people who will energize you and challenge you to be better. 4. They say no to overworking. While it's true some successful people and many entrepreneurs put in 60 to 80 hours per week, very successful people aren't workaholics who neglect self-care and family. They recognize that if they can't take care of themselves, everything else suffers. 5. They say no to doing all the work. This comes down to one word: delegation. 6. They say no to giving the steering wheel of life to anyone else. Another Buffett quote affirms this: "You've got to keep control of your time, and you can't unless you say no. You can't let people set your agenda in life." 7. They say no to people-pleasing. Successful people don't neglect their deepest wishes and desires to accommodate and yield to others' wishes and desires. 4. Decision reduction. The gist of the idea is that decisions, large or small, all consume energy and mental power. Small decisions, such as what to eat and what to wear every day, can unnecessarily drain your willpower, so we should avoid them as much as possible. Buffett eats and drinks the same things almost every day. He eats breakfast every day at McDonald's, never spends more than $3.17, and cuts down to $2.95 on days when the markets are down. By avoiding making small decisions that don't matter whatsoever, you can avoid decision fatigue and spend more mental power on more important decisions. Here are a few simple steps you can take to avoid decision fatigue. 1. Do your grocery shopping online at the same time every week and use a pre-populated shopping list for 90% of those items. 2. Don't fill your wardrobe with hundreds of different items. 3. Schedule exercise in your calendar as a recurring event every day. Stop thinking about when to exercise and let your calendar tell you. 4. Make the majority of your meals the same every day. The final major lesson on productivity from Warren Buffett would be applying the 5-hour rule. The 5-hour rule involves spending 5 hours a week, or 1 hour each working day, focused on deliberate learning. This means setting aside time to give your full attention to learning and development without getting distracted by other work. This learning can take different forms, and a mix of these will give you the most well-rounded experience. Here are the things you could do in order to learn and improve. 1. Read. Reading is a habit of many highly successful people and is an easy and convenient way to learn. Try keeping a book in your bag at all times and setting yourself up with reading goals each week. 2. Reflect. It's important that your reflection time is structured, or you could get distracted. Keep a journal, which will allow you to reflect on what you've learned through reading. It will also give you the chance to think about lessons you've recently learned during work and develop ideas you have for the future. 3. Experiment. Set aside some time each week to test out new theories or ideas, no matter how crazy they are. Some of the most successful products in the world have come about as a result of experimentation. Innovation never comes from doing the same thing over and over. Even if your experiment fails, you'll have learned valuable lessons. You might believe that the more productive you are, the more successful you'll be. Productivity plays a role in success, but it's nothing without lifelong learning. If you're constantly focused on your current work rather than on lifelong self-improvement, you'll never see much development. So let us all take some inspiration as entrepreneurs and spend 5 hours a week on deliberate learning. You'll soon be light years ahead of your friends and colleagues and well on your way to success. Most billionaires are masters of time management and of productivity. All of the above tricks seem small and inconsequential, and they may be, if you only do them for a day and not make them habits. But if you are determined and make small progress every day, you'll change your life. Do comment below on which approach you'll be using to improve your productivity. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us.